everybody. I'm doing a follow-up session for a client, so I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and healing today. If you're interested in checking out this client's previous session, I'm going to put a link in the description. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one for a psychic session, you can visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I'm going to go ahead and read the goals here and get started. Okay. All right. I truly felt a very noticeable shift in my energy after my first session. I'm very committed to completing the process my spirit guides led me to you for. I would love to continue with your insight on the dark negative energies, viruses, and infections my soul chose to deal with to try to become the powerful healer I've dreamed of being one day. Early in my life as a Gemini, I was so interested in very dark things like the video series Faces of Death, scary movies, haunted houses, dark documentaries, etc. But in the past 5 years and counting, I've been on the complete opposite path. I've seen how pain affects all of us, and now more excited about learning how positive light energy affects us. Creating laughter, showing love on purpose, being a source of light to anyone I interact with, and being conscious of using words that I feel give off positive energy to whomever is hearing them. Seeing the benefits of how positive energetic medicines help others is so beautifully healing to my soul that I know it's my calling. Thank you for your continued spiritual assistance. This is awesome. This is very awesome. To be a true healer, you need to understand the balance of the dark and the light, the balance of chaos and love, the balance of balance itself, right? So you've gone in the direction of exploring dark things, and now you're going in the direction of exploring light things. So you're bringing balance to it all. You're tying it all together. You definitely have the makings of a very powerful healer. So I'm going to relax. I love everything that you had to share. Thank you for telling us more about your background. And I'm really glad the first session has been so effective for you. It was pretty intense, wasn't it? All right. Just really absorbing all of this in. And thank you so much for your open-mindedness to share publicly with others. All right, I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready. I'm going to relax now. Okay, so I'll explain what this is in a minute here. There's a lot of intense energy just right from the get-go. Just going to relax this down. So that stretching can have a relationship with your souls wanting to grow and expand big time, okay? It can mean other things, but let me continue to investigate and we'll see what the next thing is, okay? Okay. I'm being shown a very thin line, vertical. And it's a pathway, so I have to somehow slide on through this. I have to see, it's not just a door, it's literally a hallway, a very thin hallway. Like I have to become paper thin in order to move through this hallway. So I have to become like a flat two-dimensional object. And I hear this inner voice saying, I'm so sick of being flat. I'm so sick of having to squeeze into these places. I'm so sick of, it's like having to alter myself in such a way in order to keep moving forward. So I'm making lots of noises like, just bring it on back to the heart. Just bring it back to the heart. There is so much activity in your energy field. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm talking so slow. Only one thing at a time. Like human communication is so slow in comparison to energy world communication. It's like blah, 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 a million things happening at once. And I'm just like so slow. Okay. The next thing that I could pick up on to try to describe was one eye was really large and one eye was really small, and they were kind of bulbous. Like they were wanting to kind of grow and expand, but they weren't ever coming into balance. Like the right and left sides were not coming into balance. So these eyes were actually equal size, equal distance, and seeing straight ahead. It was just like blah, 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 like that. And I feel like some of the all this going on in your energy field is also you being very excited to grow and expand and to learn more about yourself. And you're just interested in so much stuff. That's great because you're really ready to discover who you are, heal this stuff, expand. I mean, you're ready for a lot. And it's like it's fun. It's not it's not overwhelming. It's not a burden. It's actually there's a funness to it, literally. I feel like this is fun. Even if it's confusing, if it's hard, if I have to alter my like there is something fun about it. Because it's fun to learn and grow and discover yourself. It really is fun. It's an adventure. I mean, to understand yourself is truly an adventure. It's exciting. There's so many things. Because we need to bring balance to your third eye, crown chakra, balance to your heart. I need to look at your emotions. I feel like we need to work on getting you grounded. We need to work on helping you to feel really like you are pulled together in a way like kind of like a jello bulbous kind of like let's solidify it in a way and let's bring it together. Let's feel sturdy on our own 2 feet. Let's feel aligned and an alignment here. So I snap my fingers because I'm showing your eyes how to come into balance, and I basically state. I mean, it's kind of like a command without really saying anything. It's just showing like this is balance. This is balance, and I just create that layer, and I allow your eyes to blend with balance. Your eyes to blend with balance. You really should try this power words. In the human world when we say no, like oftentimes we're waffling like no, not really or no, sorry, In the energy world, no. Like you need to be firm about it. So when there's this waffling going on with your eyes is like no. And then your eyes are like, "Oh, this 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 is what you're trying to experience here is this balance." It's really it's really powerful when you know your truth. When you know your truth. Like I'm freaking grounded, man. I'm grounded. Not because my parents grounded me, but because I'm like grounded, I'm like so grounded. I'm solid, man. So when you have like a hardcore power word or a hardcore energetic statement, sometimes even I feel like I'm supposed to say this like if you really need something, you really freaking need it. Like God, higher self, I need this. I need this now. I need this right now. Like you can be hardcore and serious about it and you expect it. You expect it right now. Even if you're saying it tomorrow and the next day, you still state it. Be a squeaky wheel. Squeaky wheels get the grease, but you have to state it as your truth. I want this now. And you have to know it and you have to blend with it. It's got to be your being. Like it's got to be your truth, Yeah, me talking like this is actually this waffling stuff, and I don't want to slide through that wall. It's like, then don't. Don't then. Like you aren't nothing. You have the power. You have the power to decide what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and to own that. Okay. I know there was a lot of dark stuff in the last session. This is quite practical, actually. I want to listen for anything that is saying, I don't like this. Anything that is saying, try me. I'm gonna make you uncomfortable. I'm gonna make it so when you think that you know yourself, I'm gonna show you how much you don't know yourself. So I'm listening for energies that are hearing this conversation and are not liking it. Okay, so we want to dissolve that, let that go, so you can be more aligned with your truth and you can own it. You can be empowered by it. You can start manifesting with it. You can start working between the energy world and the human world. Like, you can do this. Oh, yeah, man, your energy field, you're loving this. Like, I feel breathable. I feel more put together. I feel an understanding, a rippling across your chakras. There's so much more that we can explore. This is so fun. Continuing to show your energy field what balance feels like. It's kind of like a neutral thing. It's just owning it. Not because my ego's like inflated or anything. I'm just owning it because it's my truth. And there's a neutral intensity about it. It's not good or bad. It's just your divine truth, you know? It's your divine truth. You own it. So I'm showing your energy field how to own it. This is so good for you. I really want to look at your front and back chakras. I just really feel like I'm drawn to your chakras a lot. But I got to get you solid. That keeps emphasizing itself here. Keep getting your energy field just really solid feeling, because it has these like areas where it just wants to expand and then kind of blah 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 blah. Like, it just needs to be put together. It just needs to be a form that doesn't need to grow or it grows and then it deflates like in different places. So good. You're doing so good, and you're doing this so quickly. I mean, you really are very quick about it. Fast learner. Yeah. Throat chakra. There's just a lot of yellow light going on here. Something feels like contained. It feels like a resistance. It feels like maybe a conflict of, I don't need to talk about it, so I won't. Now I can talk about it. Well, what's the point? It doesn't really need to be talked about. So it's kind of like that going on in here in the throat. The thing is when you come across a waffling sensation, you got to get firm with it. You either say it or you don't say it, and that's the end of it. And if you choose not to say it, then you got to own that. And that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to. So we always have this like internal dialogue, like, well, why? And we just kind of feel it and think about it throughout the day. We might not even be aware we're thinking about it, you know? Days, weeks go by. We don't even realize this stuff half the time, you know? But there's a sensation in here of an unresolved or a conversation or a self-expression, like it's just kind of a waffling. And so we have to decide, are we going to talk about it? Are we not going to talk about it? So you have to work with yes or no, because that is the way of this world. Yes or no, okay? Because it's like, you're always going to live in this in-between place, you know? So I'm going to ask your throat, yes or no? You want to talk about it? Why are you even thinking about wanting to talk about it? If you're even thinking about wanting to talk about it, it means you really need to talk about it. Otherwise, years could go by and you're still thinking about it. Because if you could say, well, it's not the divine time. The reason I'm not talking about it is because of this, 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 this. And I'll be ready to talk about it when there's change. What if there's never change? Like, these are the ways that we think about the future and we don't even realize it. You need to just put it out there to your angels, guides, higher self, God, all that good stuff, and just say, this is something I feel strongly that I need to talk about, and I feel conflicted to talk about it. So I'm just going to put it in your hands, and you're going to create a circumstance or a situation that now I can talk about it. And I'm not going to think about this ever again, because I'm putting it out there so that there can be follow through, but I don't need to hold on to it. I'm ready to talk about it. I need you to manifest that circumstance, and then help me build the skills that I need to follow through. So that's how you deal with that. All right, more. This is all getting really tight in the face, almost like turning into a shell, turning into a mask. They're screaming in my ears. There's energy that's, I mean, it's weird. It's kind of like screaming above the head, but it's more like really fast, sharp wind. Like wind that could even feel like sandpaper, you know? You guys ever have exposed skin and it's really, really cold and the wind is hitting it, and I go on walks, it was like ultra cold, and sometimes my jeans have like, really trendy holes in them. It's like, dang, this wind is really hurting these little openings. It's like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, why am I too cool for school? Just put some like layers on, Abby. So it's like this wind is like hurting, okay? But it's loud, like screaming too. Still here. There's emotional experience with it, okay? Some solar plexus movement, above the head movement. I don't want to look at it. We're gonna have to look at this. We're really gonna have to look at this. Do you guys ever do this where you are watching something that's very disturbing, so you just kind of numb your reaction to it, so you can just watch it and not really feel a relationship with what you're looking at? So if you're choosing to watch this, then you need to experience it. Why are you turning parts of yourself off in order to get through it? You need to actually immerse yourself in what you're watching so that you can really have a full experience. The thing about TV and TV shows, horror stuff, right? They help us to find aspects of our soul, soul wounds, things that we're afraid of. They give us opportunities to face our fears and insecurities. So you can receive gross energy from it. You can. Like, for instance, when I watch scary movies, there's one in particular that I really, really like this movie a lot, because it is a kind of a creepy storyline, and it's very interdimensional and intelligent, in my opinion. What is it called? The last time I saw it, basically, I went through a period of like 4 days where I have a tendency to live out every single character in a movie, and that's why I have to be careful, because everything's kind of real to me, and it's just amplified. So I'm every character in the story, the good and the bad characters, and I feel all their personalities. My soul just wants to immerse itself in the story to really understand every viewpoint in the story, the dark, the evil, the ghost, the purgatory, even the landscape, the feeling of the music, everything. And so I take parts of my soul without even realizing I'm doing this. I'm learning that I'm doing this these days. And now I have to go through this experience that's really affecting my human senses. and I get attacked at night, and now I'm learning. All right, my soul is having an infinite experience, as though that story now is my real life, in another version of time and space, and I'm living out like thousands of versions of parts of that reality. So now I have to go in and understand, why am I doing that? What is the purpose of this? Does my soul actually need this experience? Obviously I needed to watch this show, this movie, and now I have to heal what comes. I have to heal what is attracted to this. But for some reason, my soul needed this experience, and maybe it needed the challenge of what comes when I put to, for instance, watch stuff like this. So I feel like I need to say that. I wish so bad I could tell you what the name of that movie is. It might come to me here. So when I see your eyes and they're kind of muted, like I don't want to look at this. It's not just about what we're looking at. It's about what how it could affect your soul. How it could affect your relationship with what you're seeing. So it's almost like you were watching dark stuff, but you weren't immersing yourself in what you were seeing. So how are you really exploring this fully? So interesting, isn't it? Sometimes we have a comfort zone with seeing but not feeling, not immersing our soul too deep. We do a lot more than we are aware of in how we connect with our reality and the things that we interact with in our reality. And a lot of time we keep it at the level of how I see things and how I think about what I see. But it can affect us emotionally. How emotional are you going to get about it? How scared are you going to get about it? How are you going to let that reshape your reality? What are you going to learn about yourself through this? What are you going to learn about the human race through this? So we're going to look at, we got to open these eyes here. We got to open them. This black shade, we got to, come on now, open. Hey, you're choosing to see, so you will see. If you're choosing it, you will see it. Yeah, okay. You're afraid because I'm starting to notice there's a lot of really gross stuff in here. And you don't know how to understand it, basically. If you don't know how to understand it or how to process it, then you just ignore it. But that doesn't mean it's not here, okay? But I'm showing you that nothing can hurt you because you're always in control. And even when things are happening, like subconsciously, and you're actually starting to become aware of it, even then you have the ability to go in and try and work through it emotionally, spiritually, however you want to. You feel a connection with the dark. And now that you're opening your eyes to see what is like lots of different kinds of monsters and scary things in here, and I tell you, don't have to understand them. You can just see them and explore how your heart feels about this. You feel a kinship with the monsters, okay? I had the same thing going. I even, when I was in third grade, I wrote this letter to it, the clown, because I felt a kinship with it. And now that I'm a healer, I can go finding parts of myself still hanging out with it. And I mean, that's how like close to these like images and experiences that I get. But kids do this. Like kids like take parts of their soul and put them in these dark places in order to support, to put love into this dark stuff. But then they're conflicted by it too at times. But it's okay to have a kinship with the monsters. That's actually unconditional love. Doesn't mean you're worshiping dark stuff. It just means you feel a relationship with it. And that's unconditional love because it's a part of us, part of everybody. Dark stuff is not separate. It is a part of our family of light and love and the infinite universe. It's okay to say that too. It's almost like you wouldn't say that, you know? Is that the thing? Is that the throat thing? I was kind of conflicted. I don't really need to say it, you know? I'm starting to break down this shell, this mask thing. It's kind of made out of bone. It's really pretty design. It's kind of glued onto your face though. You have monster parts. It's the new conflict here that I'm running into is um, it would be bad to love these gross things, these ugly things, these mean things. It would be bad. This very inner childlike, like, well, I'm not supposed to love things that are bad. Um, it's called unconditional love. Human race is still working on this. What do you see in these monsters that you see inside yourself? Because you're attracted to them for a reason. You're looking for yourself. But it feels like you're looking for some family members as well. Souls that are familiar to you that may have gone to deeper, darker dimensions, and you're working on reaching them. And so, I mean, it's very loud and clear that part of your path is to continue to learn how to work your way into deeper, darker dimensions and find like it's a comfortable environment. It's a safe environment because it is. It's a safe environment. Especially when you're love and light and you aren't judgmental and you understand what this is about. Even if you can't really in your mind, you can kind of in your heart, you know. And as you continue to go down there, you can start supporting and helping darker and darker scenarios, even reaching like super demented demonic beings that were angels that were transformed like so long ago, and they desperately need the light so that they can breathe and come back to heaven. Like that's what this is all about, you know. It's like soul retrieval, even parts of your own soul to retrieve. Starting to feel more comfortable and more understood, like light and love is essential. Like you bring that energy everywhere with you. When you go to the dark places, you bring that laughter, you bring that love on purpose, you know? Unconditional love. Bring that. And that's what heals all these monsters. Still working on this. Um, there's a strange relationship between your human body and your chakras, and this scene where we're going dimensionally going to darker, darker, darker places, and you really want to get down to something really, really deep and dark. But it's actually comfortable, it's not scary. And as we go down, 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 I start to feel you becoming more grounded in your human body. I mean, that's what it's like, but it's also introducing me to some energy congestions that are kind of in the legs and the feet. So, and it looks like old wet leaves just stuffed in there. And your legs down into your feet. See, it's like all this, like it's kind of, as I kind of move forward like this, it's like we're going down, we're going down, we're going down deeper, 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 deeper. So we're just going down deeper, deeper, deeper. Tell it's completely silent. I don't even think anybody lives here. It's cold. Oh, there is somebody here. Felt like it was just us. It's very ice cold. And there is a being that makes up this whole space. It almost feels like we're intruding. I didn't ask you to come here. How dare you? So you don't have to ask. It's just divine time. Hello, divine time! You want it or not, it's gonna happen anyway. So that's why we're here. Whether you like it or not, God willed us here, apparently. We just felt like we needed to come down here, so raining on your parade. Huh, it's really peculiar. It does a... It's like makes these noises like... like that. And it kind of glides like it's everywhere, and there's sometimes light that moves through it, and it kind of comes into a form, but then it becomes like a bigger thing that moves around and makes these noises. It's just moving. It's really thinking. I'm gonna have you face this, okay? You feel really cold, and you're kind of letting yourself feel the cold. And I see it like veins starting to appear on your legs, particularly. And they're all over, and they're really like blue, and they're thin, and they're turning into ice. Is that why I'm thinking about like really cold wind on my leg openings? And it hurts. It's like cutting my skin. Feels that way on your legs. I'm just letting you follow your heart on what you feel like you need to do here. You tell me that you feel like, and I mean this is a very humanistic style, so this is really good. This is a really good assessment. And you say that you feel like you know this being, or you're part of this being, and you don't know inside yourself why you were attracted to this place in particular, because it's not necessarily familiar to you, and you don't really feel like you need to be here exactly. Interesting. I say, what do you see in this being that's here? When you look into the heart of this being, what do you see? You say it's cold. You see cold. You see a cold heart. Say, when you look into the heart, what do you see? You say that I see lots of needles in my eyes, cutting my eyes. Okay. When you look into that image, what do you see? You say self-imprisonment. You say attracting pain and suffering. You say a part of me wants to be hurt, wants to be found and then hurt. And then for me to in a way feel like it was done to me, like I am the one it was done to, but some part of you is kind of leading the way into this bad situation, so to speak. Say, do you feel like you relate to that still today, or that this is something we can heal now? Are you ready? You say, it helps me to feel angry. It's like an anger that you weren't allowing yourself to feel because it wasn't right. It's like, let's say you had this going on where you're attracting an experience that's going to hurt you in order to prove to the universe that you're not loved, or that, or like prove that, like, I mean, we do this stuff to ourselves, and we blame others instead of ourselves for, like, we literally choose everything in our life, whether that's believable or not to your mind. It is literally the truth. I still don't know how I get myself in these situations, but that's the whole thing about being human. But you also are saying that even still, if I'm attracted to a bad situation, what gives that soul the right to hurt me? And maybe I am attracted to the bad situation in order to reach the soul that wants to hurt me, in order to give that soul a chance to make a different decision. And then when it chooses to hurt me, then it failed its own lesson. So what's the lesson here? Is it my lesson, or is it their lesson? Is it both of our lessons? This is interesting because there's an offshoot here that your soul does have an attraction to um, reaching certain dark souls that have been twisted up, to give them a chance to change their mind, a chance to face you and decide if they will follow through with it or not. And you choose to be the sacrificial lamb, actually. They don't want to talk about the lifetimes because there's lifetimes related to this. They don't want to talk about that right now because it seems like you've like donated lifetimes. And so, I mean, I don't like, how am I supposed to explain this in English? Like, how am I supposed to explain this in human terms? Because you can't just donate your life. You literally live it for yourself, okay? And you live it for all. But if your soul wants to come here to kind of cross paths with certain souls, that it could either go this way or that way, you are becoming the sacrificial lamb, in order to help that soul decide if it wants to continue to be this way or if it wants to be different now. And so you put yourself into harm's way, um, in order to help souls choose love or choose chaos, so that they have the opportunity on their own soul journey to decide what the next phase is for them. So you do that, okay? So you don't like it. You don't necessarily agree when I say, why are you putting yourself in harm's way? Like, you want to be hurt. You want to be in a bad situation where you're going to be hurt. Is that actually what you want? So I feel like I'm here to tell you to think about this. Are you ready to live for yourself? And then the souls that come to you are the ones you're meant to heal, not you putting yourself out there to find yourself in harm's way in order to reach those souls. But now it's a different approach. It feels to me like your soul needs to make a decision, and no waffling here. Like, um, do you want to find your way to a dark situation to give that soul a chance to choose different, or do you want to be kind of like a lighthouse where those are drawn to you and grateful for you, and now you help them to heal what's in the masses, heals everybody. It's just a different approach. But you're supposed to think about this conversation, okay? And that's the reason why we came here. That's the reason why we found ourselves in this space with this being, this demonic energy. I don't want to call it demonic. It just chooses to be this right now. And it's not necessarily twisted. It's just, this is what it wants right now. It's not hurting anybody. Maybe you could say it's hurting itself, but it doesn't feel like it's really expressing anguish. So that's why we found ourselves here. So you could be faced with some things to think about. And now this being can be faced with some things to think about as well. And I say, do you want to stay here or do you want to go? You ask this being if he is, a lot of male energy to it, would like to feel light and love on the inside. You feel warmth. And you create a doorway, and the doorway is directly to heaven, directly to source. And you say, this is all I need to do, because this being can see it knows exactly what that door represents, and it always has a way straight to God, straight to source, straight to heaven, straight to pure abundance, love, and light. And so you actually, we close the door to this place and you lock it. You literally lock it. You have a set of keys that you carry and you have a key for this and you lock it, and then we leave. You say that being doesn't need to be let out. That being needs to decide when he's ready to heal, and he has a doorway directly to heaven. That says something about your healing style. That says something about your healing style. That's cool. That's awesome. Like a key master. All right. Well, that was neat. Thank you so much for this. That was a lot of fun. All right, I'm just coming back to myself here. I hope you all have a very wonderful day. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let's give gratitude to this client for this awesome session and everything we've learned and thought about and been introduced to today. All right, have a super awesome day, everybody. Thank you so much again for watching.